What's up, everybody? Matt Inman here. This is another DVD update. Before I get to that, however, I just want to apologize if the video quality in this particular video is a bit shoddy compared to the last couple videos. I'm actually not recording in HD right now. I'm not using the same recording device that I usually record on, so I think this records in 360p. I'm pretty sure, but anyway, I think it'll be okay. I have 13 DVDs to get through. A store I used to go to a lot to purchase music, movies, and all that had a going out of business sale, and they've been in business for about 13 years selling different miscellaneous entertainment stuff, so it was really sad they were going out of business. It was Wooden Duck CDs and such, but I decided to be a good patron and buy a lot of their stock that was left, because they were selling DVDs for like 97 cents for some of them. I think the most I spent on one was like $2. It was completely crazy. I went a little DVD crazy in there. But the first one up is a classic from my childhood. It is Tarzan. God, that glare though. It is Tarzan. Just don't mind the glare. I used to watch this movie all the time as a kid. It has a great soundtrack by Phil Collins. And overall, just a great story about man versus beast and who is really better, the man or the beast? Who's more civilized in the end? Is man more beastly than an animal? Do animals care for each other more than humans do? It's a great deep story with a kid's movie vibe, and I think anybody can sit down and watch this movie and have a good time with it. I think I'm actually going to watch this just to take a trip down memory lane, because it's been a long time since I've seen this film. Highly recommend it. One of my favorite Disney films. A lot of these I haven't seen, by the way, or don't know anything about, so don't know a whole lot about the rest of these. This is Legend, starring Tom Cruise and Tim Curry, and it's directed by Ridley Scott. This is one of Ridley Scott's lesser-known films. It's a fantasy film. Tim Curry plays this evil guy, the devil here, and there's a unicorn on the back, so I'm assuming there's going to be some fantasy adventure shit going on in here. Yeah, fantasy, goblins, unicorns, stuff like that. Heroic quest, save the princess type stuff. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I've seen it in Walmart a couple times. I've just never really gotten around to watching it. This movie's bad, this next one, but I like it. Red Sonja, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and, who is it? Bridget Nielsen. This is based off of the comic series, which I don't know too much about. This was around the time whenever Arnold was in Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer, so he was basically doing this same silent type role thing, except the acting in this is much more hammy and a lot less serious. I think this also had a much lower budget as well. It's not that bad. It's great for a cheesy good time, however, so if you haven't seen it, you can check it out. You won't hate yourself for it. I just got it because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a lot of the films that I bought here are fantasy related in some sort of way. Not all of them, just some of them. Continuing with that theme is Pathfinder. This stars, what's his name? Carl Urban, there we go. I completely forgot because I haven't actually watched this movie, but this is about Vikings, and I am really interested in that. It's, Savage Vikings and all that, and it has Carl Urban in there, who is Dread and is Éomer in Lord of the Rings, and he plays a lot of small, memorable roles. I really like Carl Urban. Extremely underrated actor. Can't wait to check this one out. This looks like a bloody good time to me. This next film is a fantasy classic. Great stop-motion animation in its finest form. A lot of claymation stuff. Effects were groundbreaking at the time. It's Jason and the Argonauts. This is one of the quintessential fantasy films, along with Clash of the Titans and the John Borman Excalibur. I think all three of these together are some of the best fantasy films of all time, in my opinion. This one is slightly better in terms of quality, I think. I like Excalibur more than the other two films, but this one has a higher quality and overall a more memorable story, I guess. I mean, everybody knows the Arthurian legend and all that, and Clash of the Titans has one as well, but this is the one more people talk about, I think. This next film is highly underrated, in my opinion. It's actually a gem to me. It was my favorite film of 2012. It's The Grey. This is a very intense, thought-provoking film. I went to see it whenever it came out in January, which I usually see a movie in January, even though a lot of them are bad, but it's my birthday month, and that's usually what I do for my birthday, is I go see a movie. But this was a treat. I went to see it with another friend of mine that also likes movies, and we had an absolute ball with this film. A lot of people aren't going to like it because it's not exactly a cliche point A to point B type story. It's got a lot of hidden messages, a lot of philosophical meaning, and you can sit down and find something new and something deeper in this film every time you watch it. It loses its magic a little bit after repeat viewings, but if you view it once every now and then, scarcely, it still packs a punch. Yeah, I made that joke. If you've seen the film, you'll probably get it, and you'll probably hate me for making that joke. This next film is a great use of animation in my film, some of the most realistic animation ever. It's Beowulf, starring Ray Winstone, Angelina Jolie, Anthony Hopkins, etc., etc. Let me tell you, whenever I first saw this movie, a while back, whenever it first came out, I didn't know it was an animated feature. I swear to you, I did not. Now I know, just because it looks a little bit cartoony in the way that they are, in the way that the colors go together, but whenever, back then, I was just like, no, this is real people. This is great animation, and it's not exactly the most faithful retelling of Beowulf, but it's better than a lot of the other editions of Beowulf that we got, including the steampunk one back in the 90s with Christopher Lambert. Because that one was, ugh. But yeah, Beowulf, not a bad film. This next one I know nothing about at all. It's The Last Lovecraft. It's a comedy film about the coming of Cthulhu and how this guy in the yellow right here is supposed to be a descendant of H.P. Lovecraft and be able to stop Cthulhu. And I like H.P. Lovecraft's stories. I love the history behind H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos and all that. And a comedy based around the coming of Cthulhu and H.P. Lovecraft and that mythos and all that, it just seemed like it would be really, really fun. And I really am looking forward to seeing this one. I haven't seen or heard much about this either. It's Stakeland. I know that a lot of people say it's one of the better vampire movies out there, but I have no idea what it's about or anything. I haven't even read the back. I just know that a lot of people like it. A lot of horror fans genuinely love this film. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Hopefully it's worth the hype, because it does look really good. This next one is a special edition for Hellraiser. It's a Anchor Bay exclusive collector's edition type thing. And I loved Hellraiser. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it is so visceral and so violent and so gory. This movie made me gag a couple times. Given I was about 11 at the time, I've grown into a stronger stomach since then, but Hellraiser is visceral horror at its peak, in my opinion. Clive Barker wrote an excellent film here. This next one is a DiviMax series special edition for Dawn of the Dead, the original, not the remake. The remake is okay, but the original will always be better, just because it was at that time and it was a new concept. The remake did things that the original couldn't because of the time it was made in, but this one will always remain my favorite out of the Night of the Living Dead-esque series that has been going on for about 30-ish years now. This one's always my favorite. I just love the setting of the mall and the intensity and just the claustrophobia that they're in this big place, but it feels like it's so much smaller than it really is, in my opinion. This next is a classic, and I actually am very surprised I found this because I was looking everywhere for this, and I was just rummaging through stuff, and I happened to find Citizen Kane. And this is an interesting edition. I've actually never seen this one before. It slips out like so, and it's a 2-disc edition. It has the documentary behind the making of Citizen Kane, and it also includes, obviously, the feature itself. So I didn't have to spend 60 bucks getting the big, huge collector's edition whenever I just have this one. And I'm very proud that I own this now. Classic film, one of the best mystery films of all time, in my opinion. And this is the last one, finally. It's the special edition for 7 by David Fincher, starring Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Spacey. This is a great serial killer film. Even though you don't get to see much of the killer, there is such a mystery and sense of dread throughout this entire film. It's excellent and bone-chilling, and I highly recommend it. Also, if you've seen any of these films, any of those 13 that I just went through, definitely let me know what you think of them in the comments section. I love hearing everybody's opinion. Let's get a discussion started down there. Anyway, this has been my DVD update. Don't forget to subscribe for more movie-related videos and other shit that I do. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.